So they come in there, they have their shrunken heads and all their, pentagrams and all that. And I just grab all that stuff off their neck. What is that stuff? And I just hold it so it couldn't get a hold of them, right, while I'm talking. Well, there was this one girl that came in. And this is the fun part. I'm trying to tell you how fun it can be, because so often we get afraid of evangelism when we think we can't go do that. Oh, I get so theatrical. And you get freedom to do it. It's funny. It really is. I've got all this stuff in my hand, and this girl comes in and she goes, "My name is Ruth, and I'm a Wiccan, and I'm going to this level and that level, and I've done this and that." And I said, "Really?" So I said, "Are you familiar with the significance of your name?" And she goes, "No." And I said, "Okay." And she goes, "Well, I read the book of Ruth." And I'm like, "So?" We're at a pagan festival, remember? So I'm like, "Wise as a serpent." So I went, "Help me out. Book of Ruth." She goes, "The book of Ruth." And I went, and she goes, "The Bible, in the Bible." Loving it, loving it. So I went, "Okay, whatever." So that's what I did. I literally brushed her off. And then all of a sudden I saw her brain, and I saw underneath her scalp, I could see black moss growing in her brain matter. So what I did was, I'm holding the stuff with one hand, right? The pentagrams and all the stuff. And I've got my hand on her head. I said, "I'm going to put my hand on your head, and I'm going to ask for light to come in and begin to illuminate, take the moss and take the fog out." I just called it like I saw it, right? And I'm watching this stuff dissipate under my hand. And all of a sudden, she's blinking, and she's going, "What?" And I said, "Oh." So I got really theatrical with her because I felt it was time. And I let this happen for a few minutes, right? And I said to her, "Who is your spirit guide?" She goes, "Well, I really don't have one right now." It's interesting that you would ask. I bet it is. And I said, "Okay, I think I'm getting something." And I just reeled her in. How many have ever been fishing? The big ones, you got to give them a little slack, roll them back in. Remember how my mom was a bass fisherman? So I was giving her some slack, reeling her back in. Finally, I said, "I think Jesus should be your spirit guide." She said, "Why?" And I said, "Because you're already tracking. You read the book of Ruth." She goes, "What?" And I said, "Yeah, right?" Didn't play into it. And she goes, I said, "Give me your hand." And she goes, "Can we do this now?" I said, "Yes, we can do this now." This is at a pagan festival. This is at a place where everybody had everything going. And finally, the power of God, because of where we go, and the presence of God and the angelic help, and we've got intercessors on board, and we've got people who can handle the stuff. They shut down their booth, and they came over and they said, "We cannot compete with this."